Welcome everybody. My name is Ralph Havens and this is the Enlighten Up and Get What You Want video training series. This is video number 2 and welcome. So if you haven't seen video number 1 yet, I encourage you to go up and click on the link. It should be on this page and I'll be here when you get back. So go ahead and do that now if you can. And welcome to Enlighten Up and Get What You Want video number 2. Now, whether you're dealing with chronic or medical conditions or pain conditions or some type of physical complaint, or you're looking to find the lifestyle, the money, the finances, the lifestyle to get the life you want, you're in the right place. And this video training that I'm going to be showing you, that I've been showing you, is for you. So if you missed the first video, I encourage you to go watch it now. And the first video was about charting your course. So if you don't know where you're going, you might not get there. You might not even start. And I talked about the importance of taking that first step. So we talked about how to chart your course and how to feel what it would be like and much more, and then how to take the first step. And that's a very important video, so I hope you get a chance to watch that. Now, I want to check in with everybody and just see if I were to come up to you in 3 years from now, 3 years time, and ask you, hey, how's it going? How's life going now? Have you been getting what you want? How's life treating you? What might you say? So many people never take the first step. They never step offshore and start to go. It can be because of procrastination. They just never quite get around to starting their dreams and life. Or it can be about perfectionism. They just have to keep doing it more and more. When they get it just right, they'll go, but they never end up going. Both of those, we talked about that in the first video too, can be about fear. So, and I talked about how you can get over that and how it's important to do it anyway. So charting your course and taking the first step is important. Now, in this video of using your mind to get what you want, I've been hearing what you're saying, and I agree. I know it's been my experience too that a lot of times you use this law of attraction type stuff and this the power of the secret and power of intention, and you visualize what you want and you don't quite get it. A lot of people don't get what they want when they visualize it. And what I found is that there's this missing link. There's an extra piece to this. And I'll tell you how I found that and how I used it and how it can be useful for you. So during the tough times, when you're in the thick of battle, when you're not doing well, when the emotions are running out of control, it's good to know this missing link. I call it the gift, because it can take you through that and help you have something to do right when you're in the middle of it. So I'm going to tell you about that. And first I want to just kind of let you know, over the 30 plus years of helping people solve the chronic and the mysterious conditions and get their lives back, I noticed an interesting trait. People would get healthier and get their life back in that physical sort of way, and they would start lining up with their heart's desires. They would start doing what they're here to do. And one of my best teachers, one of my greatest teachers of integrative manual therapy, Sharon Giammatteo, late great Sharon Giammatteo, she used to say that her job, and now I feel like it's my job too, is to get healthy enough to take help people get healthy enough so they can get on their own surfboard and take their own wave. And that's what I feel part of my work is now. The other part has been that there's still a useful component of the mind and the thought processes and getting through core beliefs that are in the way of somebody doing what they're here to do, their life purpose, their life. So the mind has been the next step in that. And this gift that I'm going to tell you about today that you have right under your nose in with you is part of it, and that's what this video is about. So, you know, I never thought my life would go this way. It's interesting. You start off and you go and then you correct and you go and you correct, and where you end up is way different than sometimes where you think you're starting, where you're going when you start. And that was how mine was too. I'll tell you a little bit more about my story. I told you a little bit in the first one how I got very sick in San Diego, and then how I overcame that, and then some more stuff happened later, and I'll tell you about that today. And the important part is that I found a way out, and I found a way to get healthy physically, and also how to shift the money, finance, lifestyle thing. And so many of my clients, so many of you were asking, how do you do that? Because that was one of the things that you all wanted. And so I decided to do this training for you, to show you what I've been finding over the years and what I found that's worked. So later in the series, next video, I'll be talking about and showing you how to stay neutral, which is a very important part of creating a reality or manifesting. I'll show you how important that is and how to do that. But for now, I'm going to show you this thing called the gift. So I know there's a reason that many of you are watching, and it can be the autoimmune conditions, it could be the money and the lifestyle thing. And I know that what you've been going through and some of the challenges you've had, and also some of the wins you've had. Thank you for the comments that you guys have left. I'm still going through those, and I'll get to all of them. And one of the things that I want to encourage you is that there's no time like right now to do this, to get it done. People might think they're past the time, you know, they're a certain age, or they've been dealing with something for a long time, or it's always been like this. But there's no time like right now to do it. The best time might have been in the past to shift this, but the next best time is right now. And some stories come to mind, you know, the inspiring stories, and we all know the story of Nelson Mandela, and you know, put in prison in his 40s because he wanted to get equality for the people of South Africa, and imprisoned until he was his 70s. But he always knew that he would be out and he would be leading his people, even though he had a life sentence that was given to him. He was in prison, and he did get out when he was in his 71, I think, and then became president and led his people, and I think he won the Nobel Peace Prize. So he was doing something that's in this video, which I'm calling the gift. And so there's no time like right now for you to do this, and hopefully you don't have to wait 30 or 40 years to have it manifest for you. It can happen faster. That's been my experience. I had, I'll tell you a couple of stories. I had a woman that I saw over Skype about 6 or 7 or 8 times. She had terrible rheumatoid arthritis and severe osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, and was actually being carried by her husband during some of the tougher days between the bathroom and bed because she was in so much pain. And so now, on her last time, I saw her a couple months ago, and I'll see her again soon, I think. But she told me that she's really in very little pain. She's really pretty much pain-free. And her friends are marveling at how well she's doing. Her husband's so happy. She's starting to get her life back and figuring out what she wants to do. She's in her 60s. Had another lady that saw me with rheumatoid arthritis, heart disease and diabetes, and an infection or inflammation around the heart, and also fevers that wouldn't go away, on lots of drugs of all sorts. And I see her over Skype now. She told me a couple years ago, that she no longer has pain, and her doctors have told her she no longer has rheumatoid arthritis. So I have a client that no longer has ulcerative colitis. His doctors have told him that he no longer has ulcerative colitis. So I've seen stuff change that can be thought of as near impossible in the regular world. But that's been my experience. And I've seen how they can start to get their life back and figure out what they want to do once that happens. I had one lady that I saw for a very short session, and she was in her late 20s and dealing with some chronic medical-ish autoimmune type conditions, having a difficult time running and tired, and didn't have a boyfriend, and life wasn't going as well as she wanted, didn't have the job she liked. So all sorts of stuff changed for her. She not only got healthy, she found a boyfriend, got married, had a baby, ran better, and now runs and wins ultramarathon races. And I see her on Facebook traveling all over the world and they have a beautiful life with a great business, and they're doing well. So getting healthy and then getting the lifestyle and the money can go together, and I've seen it happen. And I've seen it for myself. I'll tell you more about that. And so how did I find this? I was, the rest of the story in San Diego, I had found how to get healthy. I had found that San Diego was putting fluoride in the water. And they started doing it in 2011. And by the middle of 2011, that's when I got injured. And then I got my health deteriorated. And over a year or a year and a half, I got more and more debilitated, so that I couldn't even walk but about 10 minutes at a time due to pain after being able to run 2, 3, 4 hours at a time. So I found that, and I found the filters to get it out of the water, and I started getting healthier, found the remedies and how to detox from it. I can tell you about that if you like. Just comment and I'll leave those links for you. But the important thing is I got healthy. But in the process, I decided to move where I always wanted to live, the Pacific Northwest. And I found that Vancouver, British Columbia, Bellingham, Washington, out by where we are by Mount Baker, no fluoride in the water. So we moved out here, but something happened. I know the thought of like what you resist persists, and if you're living in fear, it'll catch you at some point. And part of me was living in fear. I was running from this thing that tried to kill me. And so I found my way up here to the Pacific Northwest, and we found this house, and we were going to live a simpler life. And I had clients over Skype, and some in person in Bellingham, and it was a smaller life, but that's how I thought we were going to go. And we started getting sick. I started getting sick. My wife started getting sick. My son started getting sick. Different kinds of autoimmune and breathing issues and toxicity issues. And we found out what happened. And there was lots of toxicity in the house. So I had fled San Diego to get away from toxins, and here I put myself right in the middle of toxins. So that's how I ended up living in a tent and our garage for over a year, through the winter even. And in the middle of that, you can only imagine how mad I was. I was beyond mad. I was in total rage. Now, when I did my work, my matrix energetics, my integrative manual therapy, when I worked with my clients over Skype and in person, I was in an amazingly sacred space, and I was doing great work, and people were transforming, and I felt great. And I was doing lots of Qigong and lots of mind stuff and lots of meditation, and I was using that to shift patterns so that we wouldn't have this problem that was going on with our health and our house and our money, because we spent over $100,000 on this house finding and fixing the problems. Now we have a beautiful house that works for us. But what I found was by resisting and by running in fear and trying to be protective, I was getting a smaller life, and it found me anyway. So I needed something. And what I found in my studies is that there's old technology. It's really as old as the Bible or older, but in the 1930s, Napoleon Hill found it and wrote a big book about it, Think and Grow Rich. And so Napoleon Hill, to give you the short version of that, he was brought in by Andrew Carnegie, a $100 million kind of guy, hundreds of millions of dollars guy from the 1930s, to study rich people and find out how did they do it, how did they make all this money. And so he spent years studying them and found something really interesting. He found that mindset and confidence were the big things. And he described it, and he described how to do it, and he showed you how to do it. And in his book, he talks about every chapter that he gives you the secret of how to do it, but you'll probably miss it. And so I started to see it, and I was like, oh, this is it. So I started to use it. And sure enough, I started to get happier and happier and happier. And then we found the way to fix up the house more and more and more. And we got our health back, and we got our business back. And I found out how to have my life be bigger, have a bigger life, impact more people and help more people. And I had a bigger Skype practice and more of an energetic practice and more of an in-person, in-town practice, and everything got bigger. And the happiness came first. So I found this gift that he found. Napoleon Hill became a very rich man while he did this and learned it. Along the way, his son was born with no ears. And so the doctors told him that his son would never hear. Napoleon Hill used this gift. He didn't believe it. He didn't think it. He didn't go with it. He absolutely lied to his son and told him he could hear and behaved as if he could hear and treated him as if he could hear. And he also worked really hard to get him to hear. He put his head up to here and to the little guy's ear, and he got a phonograph and let it vibrate and hear. And the short story of that is his son was able to hear and became a normal, productive man in society. So something impossible became possible, and this is what Napoleon Hill did. So this is what I did, and this is what I used, and this is what I'm going to show you right now. So what is the gift? So, excuse me. You've been given something that can't be taken away from you by your creator, by God, by spirit, by your infinite self. You can think any way you want to think. And you can feel any way you want to feel. And you can believe any way you want to believe. You can have the emotions that you want to have. Now, yeah, there can be bad things that happen, car wrecks, divorces, financial ruin. But if it happened and 5 years later you're still mad, then that's different. At that point, even before that, but at that point, it's not about, you've made a decision to think and feel and believe and have a certain type of emotion. And it's running your life and creating what your reality is. So what the gift is that it's important to take very good care of your mindset and your confidence. And think in ways that are lined up with your heart's desires. So that first video where we talked about, and you came up with what you truly desire and what that would be like, and what taking the first step would be like, that feeling state of, if you had that, what you would actually have, that feeling state is what you can decide to think, feel, and believe, and the emotion that goes with it. Now, what do you do during the tough times? This is where your tenacity and willpower come in, but also something else, your decision. So right now, you're in this space with me. You're in this matrix, and there's an energetic thing going on. And when you're in this space, magic can happen instantly. When you're in this space, magic can happen instantly. And so you can decide right now, if you like, and I encourage you to take the time to do this, you could decide that right now, from here on out, you are going to think, feel, and believe, and have the emotions that go with already having what you desired, what you picked in that first video as what you really want, what you'd really get if you had it. Now, that can be just words, or it can be an actual decision. And you know the difference. We've all had decisions, you know, I've decided to get a divorce, I've decided to move across the country, I've decided to quit doing this job, I've decided to do this. It's different than a New Year's resolution or a wish list, or, you know, I really should do this. It's like a decision. And I'm being a little strong with it because it's a strong point. It's when you make a decision, it's a line in the sand, and then things are different. And the universe then conspires to help you. It says, wow, he or she just decided, they made the decision. It's the angels get off their little clouds and come down and start to help you out because you've made this decision. So what you can do right now is to go ahead and go to that. And I have decided to feel, think, believe, and have the emotions that are congruent with having what I truly desire. And if you haven't done the exercise in the first video, you can do that and then come to the point of what you would really have if you were to have what you truly desire. And you can do this now. Like I said, you're in the matrix and magic can happen. Yeah. There it is. Feel that. Notice that. That's sacred space. That's for you. That's you. Okay, so this is done. And so this is what I used to help myself and our family shift the health things, the running from toxins things that was trying to kill me, and the money financial thing. And what showed up was happiness, but happiness showed up first. And the decision to feel that way, think that way, believe that way, and know how important it is showed up. And what I'm telling you now is that it's not only not useful to think, feel, or believe in ways that are in line with what you don't want, you know, the rage, the anger, the frustration. It's not only not useful, it's fatal. Napoleon Hill uses the word fatal. It's fatal to you getting what you truly desire. So knowing that, you can know that if you do it 90% of the time, but 10% of the time you're in rage or frustration or sadness or upset, that's going to be what you get. It's kind of a funny thing like that. So you have to do it. You have to do it all the time, and you have to use your willpower to just know that, oh yeah, I made a decision because I know that if I don't do this, that's not going to help. It's fatal to you getting what you want. So just make the decision now that you're going to live in a certain way of thinking, feeling, believing, emotions. There you go. Now, even with this, what I noticed as I was going through this was there was still something to do. And I'm going to be talking about that in the third video. There was still do X to get Y. I think you're going to really love the third video. It might be your favorite one. It was one of the most driving force ones for me. Was there was something I still had to do physically to do things. There was stuff in the physical world to shift toxins and detox and to heal things. And there was things to do in the physical world to make money and have my business work and get people to understand who I was and what I did and what I can do for them. So in the third video, I'm going to be showing you how to do X to get Y. I'm even going to be putting together a resource guide so you can go through a checklist to see all the things for your physical health and for your financial money health and things that you can do in the real world to get this. So I'll be sharing that in the next video. So this is what I found, and I'm sharing in the second video, is this gift that you've all been given. And the important thing is to do it and to make a decision to do it 100% of the time. And we'll be going over the next step, what to do in the physical world to get things to shift. And what I'm noticing now is I'm doing an actual session for you so that the energetics get imprinted and can help you. And you can feel this now. So as this goes on, I want to hear from you. So let me know what actions you're going to do and how it goes to making your decision and what you've decided to think, feel, believe, and what emotions you're going to use to line up with what your heart's desire is, what you came up with in the first video. So let me know in the comments below. Wow. Now, if you found value in this video, I'm asking you to share it with 3 friends. Share it with more than 3 friends. Share it on your Facebook and other social media and emails. It's always good to have people with you on this journey. So if there's other people that could benefit from this, please share. For the people that might need help with chronic injuries, conditions, health things, and also the money lifestyle things. It's easier to get started on this journey when you have other people on this path. So what I'd like you to do right now is to scroll down and first hit that like button. Everybody likes to get likes, so I like to get likes too. So yeah, first hit the like button and then go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. And let me know what you'd like in the next video as far as like any other questions about this stuff. And what you've noticed that's different simply by being on this video. Because this is also energetic. And there's things shifting in your beliefs right now. There you go. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. The third video is going to be out in a few days, and so look for that in your email. I'll send you an email in the meantime and give you the link so that if the other friends want to join in, they can. And yeah, comment below and let me know how it's going and what you're noticing. So thank you, everybody. I'm signing off for now. Ralph Havens.